Well, hello again, everybody. This is a quick little update on the Corsair F4U-4 variant that I've been working on, and just want to kind of go over a little summary of what I've gotten done so far. Just want to first say that actually for paint-wise, I switched over to the Tamiya paint because that's what I usually use for any of my aircraft work. So I also changed out and using a different airbrush as well. I'm using my dual action airbrush to have a little bit more control on the detail work. So with that being said, let's go ahead and we'll take a look at what we've gotten done so far for this first part. Just want to kind of go over the main part of the plane here that I've been working on. Like anything, you kind of start off with the cockpit, and like I said, there wasn't too much detail as far as the Revell kits are concerned. So basically I just concentrated on what you can see, which is the the pilot itself, a little bit of the bulkhead here, and then if you turn around here, you can see, hopefully you can see here, the instrument panel. They do have a decal for the instrument panel, but I just chose to just go ahead and give it a base coat of black, and then come back with some silver to highlight the dials on the instrument panel itself, and that seemed to work out pretty good. As far as on both the port and starboard side of the fuselage, I did spray it down with some green paint. I didn't have the zinc chromate green, so I just used with what I got, which was some Tamiya Park green, and that just seemed to do okay for what I got on hand. The other thing that I did was to actually install the two gear doors in the rear where the wheel goes, and of course the two gear doors are not glued, but there is a retainer clip that goes on top that does get glued, so you can actually fold this up or down depending on if you want to do a static display or in the flight mode. I also installed the resting hook, which is also not glued, so it can actually go up and down when you lower or raise the rear wheel. The other thing I did was to go ahead and install the stabilizer, and as you can see here in the back, I don't know if it'll pick it up or not, but there is a small little gap just on the tail end here. I may have to go back and maybe add a little bit of some putty on there just to close up that little seam line there. But overall, the whole fuselage went together really well. Really some tight seams. I don't even think I need any putty work on the rest of it, because the glues actually kind of help fill it in a little bit, and I might just do a little bit of sanding, and hopefully I won't get any of the panel lines messed up. But overall, it's shaping up really nice. So that's that being said, that's what we got here on this part of the build. I also did install the two antennas on the rear and the front of the fuselage. So go ahead and put that one off to the side. The next thing that I did was to work on the lower center wing. You have four gear doors. Again, the instructions don't call for it to be cemented. You actually kind of clip them in, and they do fold up and down, just in case you want to lower your landing gear or put it in the flight mode. So that was pretty easy to do. That didn't take long to install those. I did paint the interior part of the gear doors same color with the Park Green Tamiya. So that is done. Let's kind of give you a little look here on the bottom. Alright, there's that. And next thing I did was the actual gear struts and the wheels themselves. The wheels come in two parts. I went ahead and glued those together and sanded it down so the seam line run down the center of the tire is not visible anymore. The instruction doesn't say to not glue this, or actually saying it's to glue it, I guess, but I decided to not glue it, so if I have the option, I can actually rotate the wheels at 90 degrees if I want to encase them up into the gear housing themselves or lower them. Just kind of gives me an option, and there you go. I did have to do a little bit of sanding up here just to so this thing will slide up and down a little bit more easily, so that I can turn it 90 degrees so it'll fold up and back down again, twist, lock it in place, and hopefully that'll work. So that's where we are with the two wheels. And next up is the upper halves of the port and starboard side of the wings. Of course, they do have lines here to have a little detail, so that when you do glue these eventually onto the gull wings where the wheels go, that's part of the wheel housing. So I might dirty it up with a little pin wash later on, but that's a start with putting on the park green Tamiya. So that is done. And then we have a couple other little front gear doors. Same thing. Both the right and left side of the wing. I was always wondering about these two items. It's part 50 and 51, but when I looked in my instruction sheet there, it actually does not show a 50 and 51, so I don't know if this is an extra part. I'll turn it around. Maybe some of you guys who work on Corsairs might give me a comment to maybe find out if this is something extra, or if it's a throwaway, or what it's actually used for on the plane. So any comments, just let me know about that. And of course we have another couple of smaller little retainer clips. Kind of show that right there. So there's the two little retainer clips here that actually go around the gear struts and to the gear door to stabilize the wheels if you do choose to put it in the static mode for display purposes. So those are all painted up. And lastly, I went ahead and put the two bombs together with the bomb fins, and I'm just kind of letting them set up overnight. Tomorrow I'll go ahead and prime these up and put some color on it. But like I said, as of right now, this is where we're standing at in this particular episode of the build. And just want to say thank you for watching and subbing, and stay tuned. There'll be more to come on this Corsair build. So everybody have a good day, and we'll catch y'all later. Bye.